¿Qué tal, ladies, gentlemen and others? Bienvenidos a una nueva edición de Disco Elysium, parte 2, part 2. Vamos a ir directo al juego, justo donde lo dejamos en la parte anterior. Nos despertamos, nos dimos cuenta que habíamos pasado 3 días de jarana sin recordar absolutamente nada, ni nuestro rostro, ni nuestro nombre. Hablamos con un par de personas, una chica muy amable, el gerente del lugar en donde nos estamos quedando, que es un chucha su madre, y un compañero de detective Rati tira Paco, si así lo quieren decir, que está siendo bastante comprensivo con nuestro estado actual. Sin más que eso, vamos allá. Aquí nos encontramos otra vez. ¿Con qué nos faltaba hablar? Nos faltaba hablar con la señora en la silla de ruedas.
Hello, sweetie. You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin.
Mira esa foto, weón. Mira esa foto. No soy bello, pero agradezco el
But
cumplido.
dear, you're not for me. I'm too old and too married besides.
In another time and place, she might have flirted back, but that ship sailed long ago.
Eja.
You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
Okay.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Whatever do you mean? Sequence killers? Oh my. But I think you already have a partner, sweetie.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree.
It seems to me that you lucked out with your partner. He has the look of an upstanding officer of the law. Someone you can lean on, and sweetie, you are looking unsteady.
Esta pregunta es súper desconsiderada, weón. Es súper
Yes,
desconsiderada.
dear. I'm a paraplegic.
A paraplegic is someone with limited or no ability to use the lower half of their body. Paraplegia is caused by spinal cord injuries, like falling from a great height, or a grenade explosion.
No, dear. I'm not quite that old, although I was injured in the line of duty. Oh my, what happened? That's how I feel about the accident. I was a training and development manager at a rapidly expanding mail-order shoe company.
Ya.
You'd think it would be a safe job, but I had to be everywhere, and well,
Oh,
once I
concha
happened
su
to be under
madre.
some faulty scaffolding.
Ay.
I was lucky. This was almost 20 years ago, and I was compensated exceptionally well.
Y así es como
One can
usualmente
only
la
dream of such
gente
payoffs nowadays.
le habla a la gente con ciertas dificultades, pues weón, llegan y le preguntan sin tener en consideración como un buen decoro.
That's quite all right. I'm used to people asking questions. I know they're thinking about it anyway.
There is no bitterness in her voice. She accepted the curiosity her condition inspires a long time ago.
Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your...
If she could, this woman would feed and clothe you and every other sad, lost person on this earth.
Oh, soy un chucho de su madre por esto.
Your deportment remains dignified as you shed a single manly tear.
Soy un chucho de su madre por hacer esto, weón. Me siento mal.
Sweetie, I only have a few cents on me, but I could give you this to pawn, just to tide you over.
Wonderful. He has a pin.
The pin is round and slightly tarnished. 3 sailboats in bas relief with the sun hovering over the water behind them. A chipped green banner at the bottom reads, San Baptiste, Summer 31, Dinghy Races.
¿Usted sabe dónde puedo
Cross the
empeñarlo?
plaza and follow the road along the coast. Down by the water, there'll be a shack nestled against an old stone facade. That's the pawn shop. An old friend of my husband's goes there often. He says the owner is quite helpful.
Ok, sí, claro.
Items that can be pawned at Bird's Nest Roy's appear in your inventory under the Items tab. You can pawn these items when talking to Roy.
¿Cuánto lo quieren tener? Como
Oh,
150.
it's not an ancient family heirloom or anything, but I suppose it would be nice to get it back.
Ya, a ver, seamos honestos, digámosle la verdad a la persona. ¿Por qué haría eso?
Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad.
She won't judge you, no matter what you say.
Oh my. You know where we are, right? It does still look like that in some parts of the city. We are in a hostel called the Whirling in Rags, dear. And the Whirling itself is in the city of Revachol.
Qué rato.
How would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. We're fortunate to be here, you and I.
Ya.
I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. This city used to rule the world, though it has seen better days. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes?
Estamos en la primavera del
That's right,
51.
dear. How splendid. Here, take this pen. Knowledge should always be rewarded.
Ya eso lo sé porque lo vi arriba en el segundo piso, en el calendario.
I can tell that
Me
this
acordé.
is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
A ver, veamos la alternativa. ¿Algún tipo de democracia tal vez? Me gustaría pensar que es la dictadura del proletariado, vamos, conchetumare. Pero algo me dice que no es así. 3. Nuestros líderes son feroces guerreros que atraviesan las llanuras en corceles. La civilización tiembla a nuestro paso. 4. Nos gobiernan máquinas inteligentes que realizan cálculos para determinar el mercado más libre. Todo el mundo quiere triunfar y emprender como si fueran unos visionarios del copón, este tiburón. 5. Las radios se usan para controlar la mente de la gente y distorsionar nuestra percepción de la realidad, ocultando así a nuestros verdaderos amos, los extranjeros y las mujeres. 6. La policía. Vivimos bajo un régimen policial.
Oh, sweetie. It's really not. There used to be people who thought that way. Other people who wanted those things, but they all went extinct. Revachol is a zone of control led by an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have almost no government of our own, and certainly no dictatorship.
Ya, es
of the
como si
proletariat.
la OTAN dirigiera el país, básicamente. No, bueno, si van a ver gameplay mío, van a ver comentarios políticos en todos los juegos. Tienen que saberlo desde ya.
But they still have cops.
Oh dear, this is troubling. You really ought to know that, being one yourself. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
She's
Puta la
scared
wea.
now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different.
Oh, la
The rest
revolución
of
de
the
mi
world
compañero
didn't like
Allende.
it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago.
La revolución de mi compañero Allende. Del Tito Allende.
It has something to do with everything. I really don't know how to explain it better.
I'm just a poor woman, she thinks. What do I know of these things? And how can I help you?
You didn't do too well, dear. You really only knew what year it is.
Chuta calle.
It does look like you're having trouble remembering things. History and places. Reality, in a word. It's very odd.
A sigh. The lieutenant
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no doctor, such bouts of amnesia are often temporary, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Okay.
She means this sincerely. Worrying won't do you any good.
Someone more educated in sweeping matters.
No. I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Okay.
Of course. Then, I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though, I hope you're able to pawn that old trinket. Of course, dear. I just wish I could
Yeah.
have done more.
Vamos.
Of course, dear. Good luck with your case.
Terminé acá. Salimos. La música del juego, weón. Fuck the police. ¿Dónde hay una bolsa? Alguna gran fuerza tectónica reflejaba el pavimento con una cáscara de huevo. Tiene que haber una bolsa en alguna parte de esta weá. Ahí abajo hay una bolsa. ¿Por qué vamos a buscar una bolsa? Porque con la bolsa en la mano vamos a empezar a recoger mierda. Sí. Tengo una botella. Ventana rota. Sí, tiene ventana. Vamos a recoger otras botellas. Con esto vamos a hacer dinero. Que obviamente no va a ser mucho dinero per se, pero va a ser dinero, al fin y al cabo. En la portada del libro aparece una rosa, una pistola y una señorita casi en cueros. Una novela erótica. Esta muestra un hombre muy musculoso rodeado de fuego. Una novela de fantasía. Un libro sobre pateo. Ok. No tengo idea de qué trata este libro, pero tampoco parece importante. Ok, estoy entendiendo. Un libro sobre la cultura boyadeiro, promueve la libertad, creo que sí. Pero tuve un pensamiento. Son las 9:30 de la mañana.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of... The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic. A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onug written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards. That's Kuno on the lens. Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast, studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. You know this to be the star of Pericarnassus, or the Cairo, the central symbol of the Pericarnassian church, a star, a great moral height to be strived towards. The church looks old and weather-worn. There are no lights in the windows. This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the... Why place a tourist attraction in the middle of such poverty?
There was a revitalization project in '49. A design studio tried restoring Martinez to its pre-war glory. It didn't stick. They got as far as the street lamps and the statue on that intersection. Then something went sour. I suspect that something was Everard Clare, the union leader. He muscled them out. It's how it usually goes around here. We should have done something about the union 10 years ago. That ship has sailed, officer.
¿Cómo es que subía de nivel? Bueno, tengo puntos de... Ah, ya, sí, tengo puntos de experiencia que voy adquiriendo a medida que pasa el tiempo.
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open. Are you interested in a new and exciting book? It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games. It's called Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold your horses, little girl.
Vamos por parte.
That is a book. They have stories inside them. It's like someone told you a story in a really long letter. A postcard is a small cardboard picture. You can write a few words on the other side and send it to your friend or beloved.
She is unfazed by your questions. She would consider it impolite to point out any perceived weirdness.
Board games are like little games on a table, made to pass the time. There are several different ones.
Se lo dice a la persona que mastería de D&D, conchetumare. Ya, perdón.
My pleasure. Anything else you'd like to know?
Bien, gran experiencia.
Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about books.
¿Cómo te
My name
llamas?
is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside minding the register or organising the stock. Feel free to step in and browse our wares. I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
Oh, vieja curia la está ocupando.
A sudden gush of wind turns the pages of the books on the counters. She covers her face, smiling. But she's cold.
Kind of you to offer, sir.
What could you do to help her anyway?
Oh, no, sir. I'm happy to help Mum by luring in customers. Besides, I have some hot juice in my vacuum bottle to keep warm. I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running. Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper
Ya.
worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed. Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed.
Behind her, the window has been boarded up. You sense the boards creaking, twisting for a second, and some kind of doubt in her tense shoulders.
Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go... I wouldn't really say it like that, but I guess so. They shouldn't be, but they seem real. Anyhow, they say that these grounds are doomed for businesses. Of course, sir. Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals.
Crime is what we were solving before this conversation began.
It's exciting to people, I guess. They get to imagine dangerous things, and it's kind of like a puzzle, where you can guess who the criminal is, or how the good guys are going to catch him. You don't look much like a policeman. Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen.
Yo solía ser igual que este Mullen, para ver si entregarme la buena vida. En realidad nadie se parece al tipejo de la foto, no es más que un estúpido personaje de ficción. Ya, sí, esto es verdad, pero es que es como muy abrasivo, weón. No obstante, lo más importante del trabajo policial no es el cuerpo, sino el mate.
Head, yes.
No, it's your soul. Your
Your
blue
blue
soul.
soul.
Not head, child. Heads.
Isn't that very dangerous? Unlike you, sir. He's just a fictional character. He's no match for you. Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books. It's the type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between the good man and the bad man. Or there could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It's about man and lady business, sir. That's really not a proper romance story. That's more like everyday life. Not in romance books, sir. These are about nice and pretty people, and everyone is happy in the end.
Esto es como 50 sombras de Grey.
It happens, but usually the guy gets rich in the process. Or should actually be rich himself, but has lost his family property unjustly, like during the revolution or something. Those are unhappy books, for most of the pages. People sad about what they have lost, but then it
Ya,
all turns
pero...
out just fine in the end.
Ya, pero ¿qué es lo que pasa cuando todos son
These are
malos?
not very common. You can't have a choice between bad and bad. Nobody wants to read a story like that.
Y si está muy bien escrito,
Maybe then it's fine. Maybe if the lady then decides not to pick either, because she doesn't need a bad man. Yes, that would be interesting. I haven't read many of those. Maybe you should ask Mum. I don't think it's a romance story if the main characters break up, though. No, I don't know. Yes, she knows books, definitely.
y fue un palo de mi propia
What
vida.
was that? An idea for an unfinished novel stuck somewhere in your forebrain? You clearly have issues you need to address.
Maybe some about other books?
¿Quiénes son los famosos?
Oh, kings and queens and generals of old, or artists and writers, or musicians, those kinds of people. There's usually something extraordinary about them. I think that's why people read them, to find the secrets of their fame.
Seems like most people who read those books fail to get more famous from reading them.
But it does make the famous people more famous.
¿Cachai que el tiempo avanza cuando habláis con la gente?
Okay, sir.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I think that...
Seems like most people who read those books.
But it does make the famous people more famous. Why would they do that, sir? That's so cool. Maybe they'll make you a book cover picture and everything. Standing over a dead body, holding a gun.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden. Why is that?
What do you mean, sir?
She knows where this is going. She looks around anxiously. The lieutenant stands by, looking at the two of you, a facade of true professionalism. He is far more intrigued by the situation. She brings out her reddened hands, her nails frayed, nearly chewed down to the flesh.
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded? Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that.
She actually is impressed. This is more like a defensive reflex. She nods, half provocative, half enthusiastic.
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't.
No importa, yo también me muerdo las uñas. Costumbre, mala costumbre.
It was okay, sir.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
You're quite sober.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes effort.
Because you usually aren't. I sure hope you are, sir.
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you. The whole situation suddenly feels familiar, somehow. There's something you're missing.
Vamos, por favor. Por favor, por favor, por favor.
You have absolutely no idea. Familiar?
Por mí.
You must have forgotten something you heard again.
Primer fallo.
This Postler Vantorie mail collection box has been heavily vandalized. The box seems happy.
Por acá debe estar la casa en español, ¿no? Los guantes. Dedos manchados de nicotina. No puedo recoger esa botella. Consigue algo para curarme. No para ese tipo de curarme, sino para... Bueno, ustedes entienden. Un auto guardado. Ok, ya recorrí gran parte del mapa.
There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small box.
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles right here.
These are all boring. Boring third-rate ho-hum sunglasses made of cheap Syrahese plastic. Those UV stickers are almost certainly just there for the show.
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, superb material, very cool. UV resistant. These will definitely keep your eyes safe and cool while doing your dangerous police work.
Abort. These are hideous.
Damn, officer!
They're perfect for concealing your bloodshot and baggy eyes.
I mean, yeah, but...
You are definitely not buying those.
Are you sure? But they look so good on you. You should think this through, officer. Oh, very interesting choice, officer. Very high culture.
This is how a sea monster sees the world. You've become a sea monster. Giant, hidden, and strangely tender at heart. All is blue. Yes, but they also make your soul quiver like jello. So deep.
Wow, officer. You look so cool. And they can be yours for a mere 3 real. My regular customers have passed them all up because they've got no taste. But you found them.
The lieutenant tilts his head and steps back, eyes narrowed in a thorough exam.
You look like a musician. Like a blind musician. But you could do worse. Take them if you want.
There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand clothes, smelling of strangers' body odors.
Sí, estoy haciendo totalmente lo secundario, explorando el lugar, en vez de ir directamente al auto a hablar con los pacos.
Don't be shy. These are premium class clothes. Good quality fabrics, best retro design. Save the economy with your style, officer.
Save the economy? That sounds off.
Haven't you heard, officer? We've got to be economically conscious. Recycle your cash, keep it in circulation. Don't buy new things. Buy eco. Look around, officer. You see all these premium goods just sitting there, not getting bought? We've got to keep the flow of goods moving.
Ok, hemos vuelto, perdón, tuve que solucionar un pequeño percance, pero aquí estamos de vuelta.
Is this really the economy we want to leave to our children? That's the spirit. We've all got to do our part. Your part is to open the box.
You find your hands deep in tattered and faded garments made from weird polyester blends that make your body itch and sweat in all the wrong places.
Economical, but also trendy. Look first hand, buy second hand. Keep the economy moving.
No good. All you can come up with are some treated wool pants. You can tell they're too tight. They itch like hell.
All natural materials, see? Real wool, 100% skin friendly, and they're yours for only 2 riyal.
Deja la ropa por ahora. Vamos a seguir explorando, obviamente. No digo que me vaya a ser millonario, weón, pero me voy a forrar. Pero nunca está de más. Acá tengo dos reales.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece, secured and mounted in the air with the aid of numerous ropes and rods. A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings of Revachol, son of Philip II, the opulent, father of Philip IV, the insane." Not a good track record of mental health in that family. Even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old sumptuous Philip was known for his profligacy. Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers, the suzerain of Revachol. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy during the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line and the monarchy on the Insulindian Isola.
¿Qué wea? ¿Se gastó todo el dinero en coca? Sí, se jaló todo el dinero.
Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber, where he stored unfathomable wealth. Krugerrands, bars of gold, ornate weaponry, armor, and various chalices. He called it the Sol Auro. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon, instead of a bed, like a normal person. But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction.
Yo sabía, conchetumaria.
You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry. He was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy. Not just any nose candy, though. We're talking Royal Philippian Blow, allegedly twice as potent as the stuff you find nowadays, and purple. Philippian cocaine was purple. That's what the revolutionaries said 150 years later, right before they emptied out the royal mausoleum and dumped His Majesty's mortal remains in the Insulindian Bay. Cocaine.
O sea, sí, pero pensé que me iba a dar otra respuesta, weón.
His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with the higher realms. Beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, thrown there by the revolutionaries after they cleaned out the royal mausoleum.
Qué raro que la estatua se mantenga así, weón.
The original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of the Coalition's airships during the turn-of-the-century revolution, when Martinaise was leveled. Most historians think the Coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately saved the statue. If the Communards had more time, they would have reduced it up to even finer pieces. Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought it would be ironic to restore the statue of the most wasteful ruler of Revachol in the poorest part of the
Ay,
city.
sapos culiados de las tarrias para variar, pues weón, creyéndose artistas y la weá, se les ocurre esta grandiosa idea, esta maravilla, weón, que se iba a enmarcar dentro de un concepto culiado del arte y que toda la gente lo iba a poder entender y les fascinaría la idea. Chuchas de su madre, weón.
The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a sea of shit. People in Martinaise tend to disagree, as do many prominent art critics and thought leaders with more nuanced social awareness than the young ironists. Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his bronze face up in the air, doesn't seem concerned about what the hoi
Obvio,
polloi think
nadie en
of
los
him
puestos
in
superiores
death.
les importa lo que piense la plebe.
Not that he ever did in life either. A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal, not a good track record of mental health in that family. The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you.
Entreprenauta.
She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands, and there is a warm smile on her face. The photo, an ambrotype from the turn of the century, as golden as her smile. It's the warmth of a winter night's fire. Maybe she could give you comfort and shelter, some cigarettes and food money. Maybe she's your... Nothing. Her smile just keeps widening. No response, wherever.
Wait. She's just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone. Why? I just told you why.
Bueno, bueno. Para que vean que tiene conciencia también, po. Ok, exploramos la plaza, exploramos parte del centro, nos falta hablar con ese compadre.
I am a gander and a hunter and a gatherer. Feel like a traveler.
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
From another planet. Hey there. It's the jam, my man. It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitating. All around clusterfuck. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes and mazout. Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already.
Behind the laugh, however.
So tell me, what do you need? Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that.
Time to arrest him. Relax. He's merely joking.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul of cargo is mostly sporting goods. You know, tracksuits and that kind of thing. They usually get shipped to Grad in the Occident. though we've been making headway in the Il Moran market lately.
¿Esta máquina es tuya?
This rockin' beauty. Sure is, like a rash you can't get rid of.
A motor lorry, also called a camion, on Caillou and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed up enough to be some sort of found rust bucket. Maybe the A6.
Good eye, my man. Yup, she's an old one, but reliable. Me and her spent a long time together.
There it is again. A little touch of sadness beneath his cool. He thinks he...
Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was on the road. We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
It's like, whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no way in or out. Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? Forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town, too. Like, a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's up. Precise demands and so on.
Ah, yes, from the Wild Pines. We'll meet her soon enough, I'm sure.
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side. That's for sure.
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do. Us lorry drivers, camionneurs. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really. Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days.
Es como si yo fuese un
I prefer the
caminero, weón.
examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
Es como si yo fuese un caminero, weón.
What's better than chasing transient pleasures? The more transient, the better. When one's ended, you can get onto the next one.
He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that. Been wasting time right here. Keep him busy.
It's easy to see he's telling the truth. He's kept his nose out of the dark stuff.
Analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the midst of a sea of motor lorries and their sad, despondent chauffeurs. A sense of surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees.
Por favor, dime que lo consigo, weón.
Ease into it. Don't go too far. This seems like a personal matter.
I'm okay, man. Just... the jams got me down. The fumes, the chemical rainbows, the tarpaulin stretched on the frames and the dull engines off.
Como si yo fuese un caminero.
Maybe the full-on, direct approach wasn't correct. Damn, it's tricky business looking into someone's eyes and not doing it.
Don't be a stranger.
Se despide como yo me despido, weón. A ver, hemos hablado con las chicas, hemos hablado con el caminero, hemos hablado con el vendedor de weas. Hablemos con los viejos, ¿no?
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
Honey, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game, all right?
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
Este yo y mi mejor amigo cuando tengamos 45.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. No, you got this. There's the ball. You're the game.
See? Your munching and complaining have ruined my concentration.
Ah, mon Dieu. The pain in my back is unbearable. I can't even say if it's in my back or hip anymore.
¿Cómo me vería
Feels
con una
like it's in
bolina,
both.
weón? Como un viejo culiado de seguro, pero...
I hope you pass out from it, you goddamn jellyfish. Men like you are the reason this nation is sinking.
Trying to throw something as close to a predetermined point as possible. Measuring. This must be the age-old game of pretend.
Como las bolitas, weón.
Shush. Ignore them. They don't know what they're doing. They're old. You are letting down yourself and the team. Get in the damn game already. Doesn't matter what team. Pick a team. Any team. The blue team. You're letting them down. Get eyes on the ball, Dinky Winky.
Sure, officer. I am René Arnaud. And my specially abled partner here is Gaston Martin. How can we help you? Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game. I do. Fire from heavy artillery. Why what? Because that's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership,
Ya, este viejo
turn your
facho.
capital into a slaughterhouse,
Viejo facho.
or use heavy ordnance to clean up your home. Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly. Too valiantly. So valiantly we got licked. Should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs. We didn't so, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough.
It was probably a bit more complicated than that.
Because this place is a damn beachhead. Had to soften the commies up first.
Ya empezamos.
Yes, the military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Revachol.
He finds your lack of historic knowledge troubling, a sign of mental deterioration in the preceding generation.
Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and the Delta. This here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, we're playing petanque on their mangled corpses.
No me extrañaría.
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
Don't get me wrong, officer. I hate those foreign dogs, but the enemy of my enemy and all that. They're the lesser evil. Damn right, son. They laid the fire of hell on the city before they stormed it. And it worked, too. The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the place.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party never surrendered. Of course, they still all influence.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players at the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the...
Thinking men have opinions on these things. Present one.
I'm sorry it had to be them. After 8 years of fighting those hyenas, boiling cats for food and drinking piss in the mountains, I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned to Revachol. or even if that damn clan Frisell had risen from the grave and led us. Sadly, that was not the case.
This royal failure weighs heavily on him.
Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with
Podría estar
toothpaste that's
resultando solo una buena
everywhere.
elección, weón.
This is just what the commies wanted. This was the plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace the role of the suzerain with. It doesn't. That was 100 years ago. It had nothing to do with anything. A true king in both blood and mind led Revachol before Frisell. He would have been better, but the damn commies drove him into exile.
Some manner of self-deceit is present in his thinking. Sounds like this Guillaume abandoned him, and he...
Damn Frisell. He was the king we couldn't protect. The Carabineers failed him, and the...
Obvio que los pacos fallaron, pues, conchetumare.
He died in the hands of the Hyperlay, in a very public execution.
Mhm.
The suzerain is the king! Has everyone forgotten already? They've forgotten already.
Soon, they will forget everything. Him too. Then he chooses anger over melancholy.
Qué buena línea, weón.
It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire. Ah, yes! King Philip III, on his steed. A reminder of what Revachol once was.
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant who emptied the treasury so he could sleep on a bed of gold.
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the
¿Cachai el
leadership of a
comentario
true king.
político, weón?
Someone who knows how to rule.
Contra la oligarquía, contra el libre mercado, contra las fallas del comunismo en la modernidad, weón.
Decisively,
Puta, si este
without
juego
fear
culiao
of
bueno,
offending
weón.
the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood. A nation is only as strong as its leader. That's why it was such madness to try to...
Don't get started on that again. What happened, happened.
He escuchado esa matraca muchas
The
veces.
carabiner doesn't reply. But no one and nothing can change this man's mind. He is as rigid as they come, still in that antique uniform. It's a symbol for him.
Right. Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. But this affair has passed me by completely. In Martinez, the union is the law. So can you really blame them? Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary,
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent discussing politics.
I'm confident they are indispensable in regard to all the paperwork and other administrative duties. But you must agree that nature, in her infinite wisdom, has made men more fit to perform certain more challenging tasks. Don't you, officer?
Esto soy yo respondiendo.
Really, officer. Match an average woman against an average man in a dark alley and see who comes out on top. Gender equality is a very noble, very modern idea. But in real life, primal roles prevail. But I do not wish to discuss.
I have really outdone myself. This is divine.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston. More padding on that fat ass of yours. I hope your heart gives out.
Honey, it's a little pleasures. Life doesn't need to be a struggle. Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day? Oh, the goal is to throw your bull as close to the cochonnet as you can. That's the cochonnet. Well, first, you draw a circle about a half a meter in diameter. We made ours out of rope. Then, the order of play is determined by a coin toss. You win it. You get to throw the cochonnet. Then, the players aim to throw their bulls as close to the cochonnet as possible. They must stay in the circle and keep both feet planted.
Puta, inevitable que me recuerda un poquito al diablo, weón.
But I'd rather not. I don't want to take up your time with trivial details, officer. You'll put that knowledge to good use in 20...
I don't like where this is going, officer. Don't you think we should do something else now? Hurry up then.
Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. But that's all I know, really. No, officers, I'm sorry. And I really would like to assist. You are both good guys. I can see that.
Then help them, you wimp. You have plenty of shoulder with the ghost caviar in the Union. Someone must know something.
He means caviar socialists.
I wish I could, but I just don't know anything. I always keep my nose clean and don't gossip. Everyone knows and respects that.
Odd. He doesn't seem to be lying, but there's something off here.
I'm not even anyone.
Of course he's holding back. His mouth is so full of Union prick he can't even speak properly.
Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, René? I'm not anyone important in the Union. I just know Evrard. Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. I attend meetings and parties. Help with little things. Oh, yes. Not in the technical sense. I don't have a vote or a membership card. But Evrard keeps me on the payroll. Just for the little things.
So that's what it was before. Him hiding something. He tries to make it look like he's a big deal in the Union. And now the illusion is disintegrating before your... He doesn't know anything. Because no one tells him anything. He's an outsider.
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I knew that. He's a vis-a-vis. Turns to where the wind blows and tries to look important. I hate the socialist rabble. But even siding with them is better than living your entire life on the fence.
Never. Ya nos habló de Evrard dos veces. Así que preguntémosle al tiro quién es este weón.
Claire. Everyone in Martinez knows the Claire brothers. I taught these boys human studies and history in the gymnasium.
What do you know about history? You never witnessed history. Only heard about it years later, when it had already moved on. You don't know history.
The old soldier mumbles something under his breath and turns to face the sea. There he stands, proud, rigid and alone, like a cracking marble statue.
Let's try not to get caught in the crossfire.
Lest we leave riddled with bullet holes. This animosity is ancient.
Writing work mostly. Occasionally, he needs something written, and I happen to have a way with words, people say. Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just essays for the newspapers. About Martinez and how things are and how they could be. Evrard and I had these long talks where...
Well, he tells his little penman exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I don't even consider myself a regular socialist. Politics is not really something I involve myself in, officer. I believe everyone has the right to think and do whatever they want, even if it's nothing at all. I'm very adaptable.
No se quiere mojar el potito, el weón.
Mon Dieu.
I
Solamente para
don't
ver qué
even
otro...
consider myself a regular socialist. Politics is not really something I involve myself in, officer. Officer, I have a vivid imagination. And like I said, I have a way with words. That's enough.
Okay.
No need to think into politics.
He
Okay.
just fluffs it up.
Of course. Don't sink into anything. Don't sink into any fight. Only sink into your couch.
Just easier that way. Besides, life isn't as black and white as René's of the world tried to make it seem. It's all shades of gray, really.
Let's
Mon
see.
Dieu.
No, thank you. For being consummate professionals. You'll have this case wrapped up in no time.
Le espero. Ojalá. Ya, los viejos no me dijeron nada. La cara me dijo que fuese, pero ¿sabéis qué? Vamos a ver esto.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags. There's something in there, not necessarily connected to the case, but still. The body is downwind from here. Maybe you prefer the smell of garbage to the smell of death.
Trash, food waste from the cafeteria. They lock these containers to keep the derelicts from flocking in. Could be evidence too. What do you mean, feel? We could try using a pry bar. There's one in my motor carriage, or we could ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He probably has one.
He might also have information. This is better than the pry bar idea.
Ok, nos devolvemos. E iremos a buscar... Todavía está cerrado todo esto. Todavía está cerrado.
Can I help you? What thing? What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business. He wasn't pan-fried, he was lynched. What could the kitchen possibly have? Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until 1 p.m. because the cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must. Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit.
He hates the Union, but grudgingly recognizes its power over him. So he's directing his frustration at you instead.
I don't. I'm simply providing a service, or really facilitating the offering of services to paying customers, and it doesn't matter. I don't have to explain myself to you.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking men. If not...
There are these things called days. You sleep between them. He's saying they'll come after you've slept.
What?
You feel like you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
Another thing. Great. Yes? Mine No, it belongs to the whirling in rags.
Eso estaba queriendo decir, ahueonado culiao.
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked?
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors too. They put their trash there and they don't pay for the garbage company.
I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container?
Well, yes. Us and the garbage disposal company.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you. Prod at him and find out.
What do you need them for?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please.
Ok, y ahora tenemos las llaves. Ahora nos devolvemos. Para. Dice que el cuerpo está ahí, lo buscaremos luego.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that
Hay
says,
cosas más interesantes que hacer que descolgar un cuerpo que lleva una semana ahí tirado.
with a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. It should now be possible to simply raise the lid. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't. There is, but you won't like it.
Está muy
Sweat forms on your
inconsciente.
brow. Your hand is still. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
¿Cachai cómo se mueve? Está
We're just in
bien
time.
diseñado.
This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
You see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below. And turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however. Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. Drop them in here, officer. Guitar marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched. The belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there?
Something slimy catches your eye. A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye. But other...
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force. Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked and this establishment had the key.
Ok, tenemos una
It's
pista
just a
fuerte.
small loose thread.
Estamos avanzando en el caso.
The fuck's he on about? Kids? You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something.
See?
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container. It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Nothing. What's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes.
Officer, is that your paperwork? Yes, it is. Look. This plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form. If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash? Well,
His eyes express a rare condolence. Then he picks it up.
lucky we found it. You should take stock of what remains, just to be sure some has not made it into the hands of the RCM's adversaries. Organized crime and the like. There might have been police secrets in your notes. It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Some items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable. Go to your inventory and select the Interact tab to read your paperwork.
You pick out a broken mug with an oddly raised only in its social sensibility.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
Ok, tenemos varias cosas. Vamos que podemos encontrar. Empatía, tengo harto lógica, tengo harto retórica, igual abstracción, visión espacial. No sé qué punto subir, bueno, ya lo voy a ver más tarde.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner. There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's a metaphor for you.
Yeah.
Below the pathetics, terror. Do not look into its blue heart. It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want. Still wet, the toilet paper peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off with your finger and voila! The ledger now looks marginally better. An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before. It is similar to the RCM watermark on your blazer the lieutenant mentioned. Didn't he say something about the headlights of his motor carriage? That you can read these there?
What? Yes, halogen watermark used for adding information to ours. It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and a
Maybe yours will have how many cases you've solved. How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking. It'll have that.
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. Yes, RCM vehicles have had lights tuned especially to reveal halogen watermark.
The lieutenant would rather not have you rummaging around, looking for the lights in his vehicle.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight. They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered, with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs.
Okay.
Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
¿Jugaron alguna vez Detroit Become Human? En ese juego, spoilers para un juego que tiene más de 10 años creo a esta altura, hay un personaje que es un Paco que está bastante infeliz con su vida, que es alcohólico y que no quiere ser Paco, que le da lo mismo. Básicamente me recuerda un tanto a ese personaje. solamente que acá está mejor escrito porque David Cage no sabe escribir videojuegos.
Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you.
Antes de que algún fanático de David Cage venga a decirme weas al respecto, a lo que me refiero es de que sus guiones son simples, sus guiones intentan ser súper enmarañados y con diferentes plot twists, pero en realidad siguen un patrón muy básico y además no sabe escribir metáforas o alegorías. Bueno, no es que yo sea un genio también, de todas formas, pero sus juegos son visualmente buenos, entretenidos, pero así como que, oh, la gran wea, no lo son. No lo son.
It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average.
2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me. That's okay. We all do, sooner or later.
Like a fan of girls, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible. Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name. A title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine cop show staples. Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case. Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene? Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves. Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. I pray his loved ones never find out. Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete. The tasks you've completed flow out of the kind green ape pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
No, actually. Any ideas? Furies. Yes, well, I don't know. I have to be honest, I'm not experiencing the internal strife that it refers to. And also, could you make it less poetic somehow? Just a normal case name.
Yes, you know what that normal name is, but it's so plain. Anything else, please?
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now.
Ya, sí, claro.
I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now. In the back, you see thin, translucent copy paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form. 3. The topmost are misconduct fines, the middle ones are station calls, and the bottommost are field autopsy forms.
Ah, son como los partes de los pacos.
To make sense of.
Listo, no se diga más.
You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work. A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. But they appear pleasantly vague. These are quite sinister in turn. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing. A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs. Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys. What delicious power hid within this pathetic mess. You feel better. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copier paper. It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back you see the embossed letters, RCM. Blue. The blue heart. Don't look into it. Something rattles inside, ever so like permeables. It's not hidden per se. The compartment is made for permeable. The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center. With your hands, U4-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board.
Siento que me voy a arrepentir de esto, pero pico.
The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner. It's proving to be harder than expected.
¿Por qué, weón, era un 80? Conche tu madre.
Patch the quilt back together. Try again later.
Lo voy a intentar de todas formas, weón.
The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides.
Okay.
If you bend the slides, snap back into place. It should be possible to just, you know. Without resistance or sound, the two panels move 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard. 2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Rachel East, The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there, too. 2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue. It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored. Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters.
Oh, aquí viene el
A
daño.
young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile. You think,
Esto me va a doler, concha tu madre.
although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake
Ok,
up.
sé mi nombre.
Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please. Your hand shakes, holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you. You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with
Por
you.
la chucha,
You have a
weón.
vast,
Nunca había
vast
sacado esta
soul,
parte,
and I
weón.
will always, always, always come back to it.
Oh.
Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No, hold on. To what? There's nothing.
Detective, is everything all right?
¿Morí? ¿Qué pasó? No entiendo qué pasó, weón.
There is nothing. Again. Nothing sad, brother. No treachery. Just blackout. Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you. That's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia. That's me. Blue eyes, that's me. Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water.
The call when you're dead, brother.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on. Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
Beautiful.
Concha su madre.
Believe me, stupid ape. Its lack of beauty was not the problem.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
Fuck. Me desmayé, weón. Me desmayé.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And it's...
Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness. In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket, The air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Drink. Water.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself, as it pours down your parched throat.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened? You were reading your paperwork. Then you passed out. I carried you to my kinema to take you to a hospital. Then you came to. 10 minutes, maybe. That does sometimes happen.
He replies with such understanding, it's as if the burnt-out ruins of the past were an occupational hazard. Athlete's foot for cops.
You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed? Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses. Find it under the Tools tab in your inventory.
Y habiendo vuelto a la vida, una vez más, yo creo que hasta aquí lo vamos a dejar por ahora. Fue un capítulo un poquito más lento, capítulo interesante. Conversamos con la gente, vimos qué hacer, encontramos nuestro tablero con nuestras investigaciones y vamos conociendo un poquito más a Kim Kutsaragi, que a pesar de todo parece ser un Paco comprensivo. Los chicos, nos vemos en la siguiente. Adiós.